adapted.
My name is Matthew, and I shoot an old Fuji with old lenses, and these are their stories. This is the Minolta MD Rokkor-x 28mm f2. It was released in 1977 and goes for about $300, but I was patient, so I got mine for a lot less. Here it is on my xt2. And here's the back of the baseball card for you camera nerds. I still insist this is not a quote-unquote lens review, but after making the first two, I realized that some people are going to want to see what this lens can do. So I took way more pictures over 3 days and nights just to make sure I had as many examples as possible. Since it's 170 degrees in Vegas right now, I thought I'd start off at night. There's no shortage of neon, and this lens loves neon. Neon is always tricky because I have to decide how much of the shadows I can still get without completely blowing out the highlights. I don't know why, but some lenses feel like they allow me to push the highlights more without them getting washed out or losing details. This is definitely one of those lenses. Like these next few shots where I really tried to push the highlights as much as I could. Since I shoot JPEGs without editing, I push the exposure on the camera's display until I like it. I know that what I'm seeing is the end photo. I know that's not the professional way to shoot, but I've saved so much time not editing. For night shots, I use the Cinestill 800 recipe from Fuji X Weekly. It helps correct the color balance and is a highlight monster like the film it's based on. That's it for night shots. Now let's open up the lens and check out the out of focus areas. Here's an example of the lens at f2 and step down to f4. The roundness at f2 turns to a noticeable hexagon shape. And here is the closest this lens can focus at about a foot. Moving on to some daylight shots. I'm using the Profile Provia that comes as the standard profile on every Fuji camera. Sometimes I'll be shooting with my night settings before the sun comes up, and at some point I remember to switch to my day settings. This is what that difference looks like. This lens has a noticeable warm feel in the daytime, unlike the Nikon I shot this morning for the next episode, which gave me more subdued yellows. But what about that 1 hour? You know, the golden one? I've never met a lens that didn't go apeshit during golden hour, but some lenses just do it better. Day neon, or Dion, is one of my favorite things to shoot. It can be a little tricky to expose right. Even when I'm trying to keep everything else from blowing out, the neon still holds its glow. The trick for me shooting JPEGs during either golden hour is to get the sky the right color. I don't know why, but most of the time I get the sky right, the rest of the colors fall in line, especially the neon, or in this case. The left photo is how I usually expose a shot like this. It's way over, maybe 2 stops. The right is closer to what the camera wanted, but I've always been a bad listener. It's a personal call. I like this lens a lot. If it weren't for another lens being such a monster, this would be my favorite 28mm lens. I don't know what it is about it, but every time I take this lens out, I get so many keepers. I get excited to see the photos when I get home. That doesn't happen with every lens. Sometimes I don't even want to look at them because I just didn't get a good feeling when I was shooting. That is never the case with this lens. I started all this to find the perfect 28mm lens, and this is really, really close. Night or day or golden hour or in a porta potty, this lens will get the shot. Okay, maybe not a porta potty, but your bathroom selfies will be on point. I rarely miss shots like I did with the Olympus, so for focus, I give it a... It has a similar length as the Olympus and Pentax lenses I tested, but it's noticeably weighty, so for size, I give it a... I got this lens for a little over $100. The seller said it had scratches and cleaning marks and some dust and light fungus. I took a chance, and when I got it, it was almost perfect. So I got lucky, but if you aren't lucky or willing to take a chance, this lens will cost you close to $300, so for the price, I give it a... Well, that's it for the Minolta MD Rokkor-x 28mm f2. Even though this lens sells for nearly $300, it's still way less than any Fuji lens and is way better than the $50 lenses you can get on Amazon. I had those too before I started all this, so even if I had paid the full price, I would have been happy to pay it for a lens like this. That being said, the search continues for the perfect 28mm. See you next time on Your Adapted.